Und wie er dann in die Formel 1 gekommen ist, werde ich nie vergessen, hat er mich eben angerufen und hat gesagt, so, jetzt brauchst du überhaupt keine Gedanken und keine Ängste mehr haben, weil die Formel 1 ist das sicherste auf der Welt.
Then I heard that one of the drivers was going to be David Brabham, and then all of a sudden the second driver was going to be Roland. So I was absolutely thrilled to, after all these years of meeting him, to be finally working with him. Yeah, fantastic.
We obviously had to get a driver with some money. We couldn't just have two drivers sort of working for nothing. So Roland's name came up, and I did a bit of looking out and sort of find out what he had done. And I thought, yeah, this guy shows promise. And he seemed very calm, very knowledgeable, very analytical. And all right, he wasn't an Ayrton Senna, but he was on his way up, and he was so keen to do Formula One. And this made up for a lot of things that maybe I didn't know about him, was his keenness to just be in Formula One and to do well.
Well, being realistic, we knew that we'd be scrabbling about at the back with Pacific and you know, anyone else who came along. You know, if we qualified for both cars for a race, we'd have been very happy, as we were in Iada in Japan. You know, and our raison d'etre really was to carry on, you know, was to do a decent job, to do a professional job, to learn, and, you know, looking forward a year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, improving every year.
We knew the challenge that we were heading into, because, you know, Nick had never designed a Formula One car like that for his own team. He was also, you know, more hands-on. Charlie Moody and all the guys there were involved, and it was a good little team. It was. There was a lot of great people, because as you've seen, some of those guys went on to some great things in motorsport. So there was a lot of talent in there. The biggest issue was finance.
That motivated people more, that they wanted to do better to make that car go quicker, to help Roland and David get into the points and to make Simtek successful. My work in Formula One, I was the chef. Me and my wife, we run the motorhome to look after the mechanics, drivers, etc. My other job was in the pit lane during the race, which I had my helmet, my race overalls on, and I was a chief fire marshal. So I had a big fire extinguisher just in case of any problems during the pit stops. We wasn't just the motorhomers, we were part of that team. They embraced us with both arms, definitely. And I think that was the strength of Simtek.
When we'd sorted the car to his liking, a lot of it was getting the seat correct, the pedals correct, and doing the minor things so that he can push himself. Once we got to that stage, he was virtually on par with David, apart from the braking. It was still this braking as late as possible, turning the car in and then accelerating out, and that's where he was losing the time. He was almost driving too smoothly, and he just had to shut off his sports car era and go on to single-seaters.
When we got to Brazil, we had one built-up car, which was David's, and Roland's car was in boxes. You know, we had all the parts, the gearbox was here, and the engine was over there, and the engine cover was on the ceiling somewhere. And we built the car at the track. So I guess we got to the track on the Tuesday or something, and then, you know, spent all our time building the car. Obviously, I got involved with building Roland's car because there were only 20 of us in the race team, so everybody was involved in it. I don't remember the specifics of you know, how that didn't happen, but I know it was our issue. It wasn't Roland's fault.
実に長くスポーツカーレースに参加いたしました。で、レッドマンコーナー、ブライアン・レッドマン、現在57歳なんですけども、まだレース。
Yeah, well done. Yeah, we're in, and that meant a lot to him, and obviously to the team as well. And I think we were just more relieved than anything else that we'd actually got Roland in. Well, I was relieved. That proves that he could do it. You know, even with a car that was still lacking a lot of mileage, testing mileage, it proves that it can be done. And this was the start. We'd actually made it in. It was like a win for us. You know, this little team had actually made it through and nearly scored points or getting up there. Even though other people dropped out, we didn't care. That's the nature of the beast. To win first, you've got to finish. You know, so yeah, we were ecstatic. I think we had a few beers that night as well, just to celebrate. Very happy, and for Roland, it proved that he can be up there. That we were very close to getting points. So yeah, he was. I don't know what he did that evening. I can't remember too much about it, but I know we were happy and deliriously happy almost. I'd been to Imola a couple of times before with Formula 3000. I knew what to expect. It was a high-speed circuit, quite tricky, quite dangerous, but okay, we'll take that. We had nothing, no new bits on the car. It was purely just the car as was in Aida, and yeah, we took it as just another Grand Prix. But with each Grand Prix, we'd got more spare parts and we were becoming more confident with the car and the handling of the car. And I think Roland as well, it done in a lot of good, that he could finish a race. So yeah, we were looking forward to it, very much so.
Un incidente lì alla variante bassa come quello appunto di Barrichello non era mai avvenuto precedentemente, quindi purtroppo a volte si creano delle situazioni che non sono facilmente prevedibili.
For the grace of God, you know, he could have been the first of the weekend rather than Roland.
Eigentlich ist ihm fast nichts passiert. Er hat zwar das Rennwochenende dann, glaube ich, aussetzen müssen, weil er dann an der Nase was gehabt hat. Der Tenor im Fahrerlager war 6, das ist die Formel 1, so sicher, da kann da nichts mehr passieren.
Rubens had his accident, which was a bit like, well, that was a bit of a nasty one, but you didn't think that was going to continue on to the weekend.
I can remember him saying the car wasn't too bad. I mean, it was never perfect for him, but it wasn't too bad, but it was okay for him to push, and he'd go out there and do his best. There wasn't anything special about that weekend or that qualifying session. It was, for us, it was a normal qualifying session, and his reaction to it was quite a normal reaction, I'd have said.
On the Friday morning, we put out everything as we would do normally with orange juice, etc. But Roland said, have you got any apple juice? I said, no, I haven't. But I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to buy you some. Tomorrow morning you can have your apple juice. But unfortunately events turned that when I got back, the accident had happened.
Das war 12:15, 12:30 und da ist der Roland dann ziemlich genau um 12:40 Uhr aufgestanden, hat sich den Overall zugemacht und hat gesagt, ich habe keine Zeit mehr, hat er wörtlich gesagt, ich muss jetzt an die Arbeit sozusagen.
Das werde ich einfach nie vergessen, weil ich halt wieder mal meine Ohrstöpseln vergessen habe, also meinen Gehörschutz vergessen habe und gehe in die Box und ich wollte eigentlich ganz einem anderen fragen. Und irgendwie hat er das mitgekriegt, dann sagt er, typisch, warte, ich hol das gleich. Dann ist er nochmal aus dem Auto ausgestiegen, zurückgegangen, hat mir aus seinem Koffer, was er da mitgehabt hat, frische Stäbseln gegeben und ist wieder eingestiegen und das war's.
Ci troviamo qua in questo luogo magico, bellissimo. Scelsi questo luogo perché prima della modifica del 94 era un punto di staccata velocissimo. Io ero qua con la mia telecamera insieme ai miei amici, io e un mio amico con 2 telecamere, fa un testacoda, sale sul cordolo interno e ritorna verso il traguardo. Lì c'era il ponte Agip all'epoca, si vede arrivare questa Simtek, si riconosceva il rumore del V8. A un certo punto io mi accorgo istintivamente che la vettura va dritta e faccio un sobbalzo e esclamo: questo va dritto, e poi si sente un gran botto. Buoni.
Ma eravamo sul muretto dei box, stavamo facendo le qualifiche, quindi si è visto che l'incidente è stato molto forte. Purtroppo si è visto subito che la scocca non aveva ceduto e che il pilota non si muoveva. E quando succedono queste cose qui, anche se cerchi di pensare sempre in positivo, la situazione era molto difficile e tragica da subito.
E io ho attraversato la pista per soccorrere Roland e diciamo che i soccorsi sono stati immediati, purtroppo i traumi erano veramente gravi, ecco.
I think that by that time there was a medical car there, and then I remember going around the corner and obviously keen to see, is he okay?
Du sitzt da in dem Auto jetzt wieder drin und siehst den Unfall von Roland Ratzenberger auf den kleinen Monitor. Schaust hin, gebannt, was ist jetzt da? Im gleichen Moment kommt Peter Sauer und sagt, wir hören sofort auf.
Si cerca sempre di dare il massimo in questi momenti, però chiaramente ci sono dei limiti che non siamo in grado di superare, purtroppo.
Capì nel mio intimo che molto probabilmente non ce la faceva. Ancora oggi il ricordo è vivo di quella tragedia, perché mai mi sarei aspettato di vedere dal vivo una tragedia simile.
And of course, when I got back to the pits, my wife Lisa, she said, what do you think? Is he okay? I said, I think he's gone.
Und ich kann mich noch sehr gut erinnern, oder, dass er dann raus ist vom Auto, er ist im Auto und sagt, okay, natürlich über das schon gesehen, was los ist auf den Screens, geht vom Auto raus und sagt, ja, was ist los mit ihm, haben die Ingenieure und so, er will sich das anschauen. Und dann hat er ein Riesenproblem mit den Verantwortlichen, ich weiß nicht, was FAI damals, ich weiß auch nicht, mit den Verantwortlichen gehabt, weil er hat sich dann einfach ein Auto geschnappt und so einen Marshall geschnappt, dann ist er rausgefahren da. Beim Abendessen, was ja ursprünglich ein fröhliches, ein nettes Zusammensitzen war, haben wir großteils dann über Roland gesprochen und über die Eltern, wo die herkommen, wie das bedeutet. Und auch selber über den Sinn und Unsinn von Fahren. Also er hat ja selber dann, ist ja gesprochen worden, dann macht es ja am Sinn, noch weiterzufahren. Und er hat selber gesagt, okay, es hat ihn so betroffen, dass er schon überlegt hat, ob er überhaupt den nächsten Tag fahren soll. Oder? Wir haben darüber gesprochen, aber dann weiß er hat gesagt, ich habe im Endeffekt da die Verantwortung auch in Brasilien. Die Menschen zählen auf mich, ich habe viele Fans, wirtschaftlich geht es ganz, ganz schlecht drüben und das ist das Einzige, was ich ihnen noch geben kann. Und das muss ich machen. Oder?
That is quite a sad thing that the next day it was Ayrton Senna, but then Roland was kind of down the bottom a little bit. And it's like, it should be Ayrton and Roland on that big page. So I think that was quite sad, that obviously very sad he passed, but obviously that the press didn't say, hang on a minute, it's two great drivers here.
io Roland l'ho conosciuto poco, Ayrton era un amico più che un pilota, per cui ho un rapporto di storicità mia, di storia mia con Ayrton che purtroppo è diversa da quella che è stata la conoscenza per quei pochi Gran Premi che Roland ha fatto con noi.
Da un lato la scomparsa di un debuttante, no? Perché Roland era un debuttante della Formula 1, e dall'altro subito dopo la scomparsa del più grande personaggio della Formula 1. È incredibile come queste due vicende si sono accumulate nello stesso Gran Premio, nella stessa gara.
People like Senna, who died, they proved that they were world champions. They'd made it. Roland never had that opportunity, and that's such a shame.
Was sie geliebt haben, haben sie erreicht eigentlich. Und da haben sie halt dann gehen müssen. Aber diese Trauer und diese Liebe zu den Kindern ist in Südamerika das Gleiche wie in Salzburg, muss ich sagen. Das sieht man und das hilft dann ein bisschen dann in der ganzen Trauer, muss ich sagen.